first thing to do is cut your pipe cleaner to length. Then bend the tips over and bend into shape, like so. Right, now I'm going to start wrapping the pipe cleaner using my carded wool. This is in a kind of light pink colour. You can use core wool and then put your chosen colour on top of that, but I'm just going to make it straight from the carded wool. Okay, so we start wrapping the head and body area now. And up over the head and just a little bit around the nose. And then we just needle felt that into place. And I'm going to add more wool now to the head and build that up to how I want it before I move on to the rest of the body. And I'm going to add some more around the nose here, as you can see, just to build that up a bit. So just keep working on the nose. It should sort of taper outwards as it goes up like this. And building up the head, the top of the head a bit more now. Be careful not to let it go down onto the nose too much. You want to keep that small compared to the rest of the head. And felt round the back of the head as well. And look at your little pig from the front, just to make sure it's even each side. I've actually felted quite firmly, so which makes the wool shrink down, so you may need to keep adding more wool and then felt that into place, depending on how firmly you like to felt. Right, going to work on the body now, so anchoring on around the chest area and just wrapping around. So you really need to build that up. And building up again around the bottom like this. Okay, so now let's bend our little pig back into shape, roughly this shape here. And looking at the bird's eye view, if you can see the nose, I'm happy with that. And we just need to build up a little bit more around the head. So not much more, just a little bit. And not going down onto the nose. Just like that. Good. Also remember that these measurements are just a guide, so if you want your little piglet to have a slightly larger head or smaller head or whatever, then that's entirely up to you. We're going to build up our little piglet's chin, so we're going to add some wool here. So I've just folded up a little bit of wool. We literally just want to build up the underside of the head for the chin. Again, going thinner to get this curve of the chin as you go towards the neck. And then we can cover any noticeable joins just by using little bits of the same coloured wool. And you don't want to build it up anymore, you just want a nice thin layer, just felt that to cover the joins. And the other side, this join here, it's a nice thin layer. Felt that all on. And use your fingers as well to help shape the head around, get the wool to do what you want it to do. And I'm going to work on the top of my piglet's nose a little bit more here, just to get that definition of the snout. Just going down there. I also want the snout to slope a little bit this way, so needle felt the bottom, which kind of gives it a little upturned look. Right, now we're going to add more wool here to build up the chest area. So again, we just lightly fold and needle felt that into place. Just to the chest, not to the underside here. And up onto the neck. And just redefine the top of the back here, the dip down here, just felt and kind of rock your pig side to side. That gets a nice even shape to the top of the back. And now I'm just going to wrap some more wool around the bottom to build that up. And redefining the back fold area here. And if you want to, you can, if there's any joins again, you can just simply add a little bit more of the carded wool. And felt that over the join. So as you can see at the moment, the shoulder area is thinner, but that's because we're going to add the legs now, which then will build that area up. So at this stage, the shoulder area should measure in circumference around about 12 centimetres. Okay, so we're going to make the legs now. Cut 4 pieces of pipe cleaner to length so that they're the same length when folded as that on the stencil sheet. So for the trotters, we're going to take some dark pink wool, just a little bit. So this is like a dark pink beigey carded corridor wool, and we wrap that around the bend like this. And then just a couple of stabs with your needle to anchor it on. Then we take a really fine wisp of dark brown carded wool, like this, roll it between your fingers, and we're going to use that to create the toes, the detail on the trotters. So just wrap that tightly around the bend and then needle felt a few times to secure that. Like this. Then we take a thin strip of our pink carded wool and we wrap that around the leg, nice and tight. So building up the top section of the leg so that it's thicker, and then coming down towards the end of the leg and just wrapping around the base here of the foot. Just going around like that, and then needle felt all over. Still got some pipe cleaner here at the top, so I'm going to wrap that a bit more to build that up and to cover it, and then needle felt again. And then just roll that in between the palms of your hands. So I'm just needle felting upwards to help shape the legs. Okay, so I'm happy with those. Make the ears now. So you can just needle felt them straight from the wool, but I'm going to use some wool felt fabric as the base and then needle felt on top of that. Okay, so now just taking a very fine layer of my carded wool and then needle felt that on. And around to the back. And use your fingers to help smooth that over. So the more rounded side goes at the top of the head, and if you line them up so towards the top, and there's about a 2 centimetre gap in between the ears at the top of the head, and needle felt into position just to anchor them on. And then once you're happy with the position, you want to needle felt a fold in the middle like this. And then I'm taking a bit more of the carded wool and I'm going to needle felt that to cover the joins. Okay, now we're going to make the snout. I'm using a little bit of the dark beige pinky carded wool and just needle felting a little circle. Very small, folding over the edges, and carefully going to needle felt that onto the end of the nose now. And just tucking in the ends, a little bit fiddly this bit. And then just a very fine layer of the light pink again, just blended over the end of the nose. Going all the way around. I just needle felted that down a little bit more just to make it, I wanted it to be a little bit more stubby. And this little pig, I just needle felted a little bit of like a darky beige wool, just so it looked like he had a little bit of a muddy, grubby nose there. I thought that looked quite cute. And now we're just going to needle felt the little nostrils. Taking some dark brown wool, we just needle felt those on. So towards the top of the nose. 1. And now let's make the eyes. So again, just using a little bit of the dark brown. I'm going to draw those on with our needle. And I'm going to line them up sort of between the line of the top of the ear there. Two little eyes. And then we line up our other eye. And using a strong sewing needle, just insert it into the cheek area and pull them out. And using some dark brown wool again, we're going to create the little mouth. I'm just going to pull this little bit of the chin forward as well. Okay, so now I'm attaching the legs. So I'm going to attach the front legs first. I'm just kind of bending the top bit up a little bit, making sure that they sit nicely where I want them to go. So towards the lower half of the body, and we just needle felt those straight on. And once you're happy with the position, we just cover the join and really anchor the shoulder area on using some more carded wool. Again, I'm building that shoulder area up a bit more. Now I'm going to attach the other front leg, so I'm going to line that up so that the front legs meet, and then anchor it in place. I'm going to attach the back leg, so if you wanted to, you can have them facing this way. I'm going to do them facing this way, and just towards the lower half of the body. I just felt those in place. A little bit more of the carded wool to anchor it on. And we're going to build up the thigh area in just a moment, but just getting the position first. So I just folded some wool here to make this sort of a rough thigh shape. Just needle felt that on the top of the back leg and around onto the bottom like so. And then a little bit more here to cover the join onto the top of the back leg. I'm looking at the underside to attach the other back leg just to get the similar position. You'll felt that on. And a small amount again, a thin layer of the carded wool just to smooth out this thigh area here and define that shape of the thigh. Again, I'm going to use a small layer here of the carded wool just to cover that join on the top there of the thighs. There we go. So again, now we can just define our little pig's body a bit more. So I'm going to needle felt this line here going all the way around the back. On top of the back here, just for the shoulders, and needle felt all the way around to the other shoulder. And cut the little piece of felt for the tail. I'm going to needle felt some more of the carded wool on top of that. And to the other side. And then just roll that in between your fingers. Like so. And if you want to make a curly tail, I've done this before, is that you can wrap it around a pencil like this. Use a little bit of PVA glue mixed with water and let it dry, and then when it's dry it will come off and it will be a little curly tail. But I'm just going to do a little straight tail on these little piggies. So just needle felt that into position. And needle felt a little sort of semicircle on the inside of the ears. And lastly, I'm just taking a little bit of a soft pastel and I'm going to shade on the inside of my little pig's ears and on the cheeks. And there's our little sleeping piglets all finished. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, guys. I'll put the link to my Etsy shop if you would like to have a look at the pattern and have a go yourselves. I've also written a book on needle felting called Needle Felting Winter. Lots of fun things to make, so feel free to check that out. It's available on Amazon and also via my Etsy shop. Thanks once again for stopping by today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe, stay magical, and we'll see you back here soon.